Hopping on here briefly to warn against scams. Scams are always evolving, but I want to specifically talk about uh, investment scams. I called one of my relatives today just to catch up with him and see how everything was going. A cousin of mine. Hadn't talked to him in a while, and we got a chance to catch up and talk. And anywho, I mentioned that I was looking into some estate planning for my mother. That has been on my to do list forever, and I'm working on that. And I helped another one of our cousins open up an IRA. I didn't do it for her; she did it herself. I just walked her through how to do it and how to navigate the system. When I had spoke to her, she was kind of on the brink of getting involved with a scam as well. She was talking with, or she had been watching some YouTube groups where they talk about group trading, and you need to join this group, this, that, or the third, to learn how to trade, and they're making money every day, and anybody can be a day trader, is what I've seen. And I've seen these types of advertisements on my feed as well, as far as them trying to convince everybody that you can be a day trader. um I don't know if she pursued that, but I definitely discouraged it and showed her how you can open up an account with a legitimate firm like Fidelity or Schwab, and start, or Morgan Stanley, and start, opening up an investment account and investing in public equities, and public investments, without you don't, without trying to day trade, but basically like investing for the long term is what I was explaining to her. My cousin today, he's about 11 years younger than me, so he's in his 30s, and he was involved. He signed up for some kind of crypto investing, and I think that, okay, so this particular investment, I think it has two components. One component is an MLM, a multi-level marketing component. So people who are so-called investors, they have to recruit other people to become investors in this fund, because that's weird. I don't know. Like, if you know anything about actual investments, like, nobody does that. Like, nobody is like, oh yeah, like, I'm investing in such and such. I have my IRA. Like, you should open up an IRA too. Like, that's just like not widespread done. But in these multi-level marketing scams, the people who are in these groups, they have to recruit other people to get in these groups. So they give you an account. I'm sorry, I'm having a late lunch. They give you an account, like a web portal. You put your money in. I need to ask him how he sent the money. That's what I need to ask him. Instead of me just telling him it's a scam, I know it's a scam, but I want to handle it kind of delicately, because I don't want him to feel bad about his decision, and I don't want him to write me off, because I know how multi-level marketing people are, and they get in your head and they pretend like they're your friend, and then they make it seem like, you're going to be ostracized from the group, and your family is going to hate on you, or your friends are going to hate on you, because they don't understand the great investments that you're making. So instead of me just outright telling him it's a scam, I'm like, okay, well, send me the link and I will research it, and I will let you know, and I let him know, hey, I have my first certification in securities, and I'm working on my second certification, and I've helped my mom, and I'm helping a few people, and I'm happy to look at this for you, and I'll get back to you, and I'll let you know anything that I find. I mean, as soon as I went to the website, it was like very janky. First of all, it's not a real website. Okay, so you know how there are website services, like Weebly is one, Squarespace is one, and if you want a free website or a very cheap website, then it'll be, instead of financialinvestingwithmargaret.com, it'll be financialinvestingwithmargaret.weebly.com or .squarespace.com. And that means that that person doesn't even have enough money to purchase a real URL, right? So that you could actually do research on the URL. When did they register it? Who is it registered to? Is it associated with a reputable business? Like, you don't even have the ability to do that level of research when people have those janky URLs that are like free or extremely low cost. So I immediately knew. And then there's just this Hobunk guy on there talking about, it's just got a cluster mess of information. I saw one thing that said something like withdraw $100,000 in a month or some shit like that. And I'm like, okay, I immediately know this is a scam. I saw half of a video. The guy just, he's talking that prosperity gospel type of talk. He just seemed, I mean, like, being around people who are actually stock traders, I am not getting the vibe that this guy is is a trader or managing any type of meaningful portfolio or meaningful investments or funds. I'm not getting that vibes. It looks like your cousin or your drunk uncle up the street that like sobered up enough to like get on the live stream and try to grift. That's what the vibe I was getting. So with these multi-level crypto scams, your friend or your coworker, in the case of my cousin, it's his coworker who recruited him into this scam. And she had been hounding him a while about it. And she was showing him like, ooh, look at my returns. Look at my returns. And I said, well, how exactly does this work? He's like, well, they're going to send you a code, and twice a day you go and you put the code into your phone or something like that. And then that's how you trade. And they'll trade for you. And I'm like, okay. Again, I am not shitting on anything that he is telling me. I am not pouncing on this information. I'm only inquiring and asking questions to keep the line of communication open. Because I'm telling you, these multi-level marketing scams will isolate your family and your loved ones from you. And they have trained people for certain triggers of people hating on you. They don't want to see you prosper. They don't want to see you rising above them. It's very adversarial. They try to isolate you. Like they do these long webinars and groups, and then you got to be in the Facebook group and the Instagram group and the teleconference group, and they just want to monopolize all of your time. So you don't have time to talk to your family and friends about what you're doing and all of that, and that you're just so consumed with the scam. So that it's also more time to brainwash you. So he's like, well, I put in these codes and they're going to trade for me. And he's like, and I finally signed up because she kept showing me like all these investments and she like all of this growth. And keep in mind, the growth, the quote unquote growth that you're seeing, it's only on the website, right? So whoever is coding the website on the back end can put whatever they want. They can just be like, you've got $200,000 in one day. All you have to do is just code it, type in 200,000 and quote unquote, that's what your account looks like. Now, when you go to try to withdraw this money, there's all kinds of reasons why you can't withdraw the money. And these reasons are reasons that are made up at the time that you try to withdraw the money. Oh, there's a lockup period. Oh, you haven't been invested for 60 days. You haven't recruited enough people. You're not active enough on the platform. your account number was wrong. You need to change it. We can't export, we can't transfer to Wells Fargo. You need to change to a different type of bank. Oh, I forgot. We just updated our system. We don't service Bank of America either. You need to transfer again. Oh, we can't transfer it because this currency is in Australian dollars and we have to go to the foreign exchange and then we're going to do it to US dollars and that's going to take 30 more days. They exhaust you. They exhaust the victim until you just give up on trying to export your money. And they pose it like you're too dumb. You're not smart enough. You're not investment savvy enough to understand what we're trying to do. That's the problem. You're not educated enough. So instead of you trying to withdraw your money, you need to go to more webinars. You need to go to more webinars. You need to be involved more. You need to talk to your upline or this, that, and the third before you can even understand how to export your money. And in the meantime, you are attracting the victim is recruiting other victims into the scam. Now with these crypto scams, a lot of times they will let you take out money at the very beginning. And these will be like big returns. So like let's say you put in $500 and then within a few months, now your account value, your so-called account value that they're programming into their own website to show you what it's worth is, double. Now it's $1,200 or $1,300. You're like, wow, okay, I want to take out the $1,300. And then whoever, is over the scam, they're like, no. Don't take out the whole 1,200 because they're about to do a big trade tomorrow or next week or blah, 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 and it's going to double. So why don't you just take out 500, close to something that you originally put in there and just leave the other half in there. And then, then it'll really grow and blah, blah, blah. So they'll let you take out money like once or twice, sometimes if it's a small amount. And then you end up putting more in because you just think that you're the best investment person in the world. Because on this website you're looking at, it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. You really don't have any problems until you try to take the money out of the account. And then that's when all the issues start. Now, the reason why it's really hard to track these scams is because they continuously change the names. Like, for example, I was just telling you, the website that I just told you, the blah, blah, blah.weebly.com, that's not even a real URL. And it probably takes like 5 seconds to set that up, go on to Weebly and open up a free or very low cost account. You understand? So, let's do 30. So that's the issue. That's the issue. It's opening, putting this money in this account. And so this is the question that I asked him that he couldn't answer. I said, so she doubled her money in a few months. I said, that's like a really big return. I said, Warren Buffett can't even get 100% return. He can't even double money. Neither can Bill Gates and neither can Jeff Bezos. So what is it about this particular group that they know how to double the money, but Warren Buffett doesn't know how to double the money? He's like, I don't know. How are they making money? I don't know. So anything that you don't understand, just don't do it. I mean, that's pretty much the basis thing. Like, I'm not saying I'm the most a financial guru, and I don't understand all the inner workings of the various investments that I have, but I do understand the basics of how these companies and how these vehicles are making money. And I think anybody should be able to explain how something is making money. That's just like it's just basic. You should be able to explain. So when you invest into a company like, let's say Procter and Gamble, right? You invest in Procter and Gamble, and I know they sell bonds sometimes, but let's just say it's a stock security. You invest in a stock security in Procter and Gamble. Procter and Gamble is a for-profit company. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to make more money than what they spend. They're trying to generate a profit so that they can create value for their shareholders. Value in their shareholders is that equity in the company that it can either be distributed through dividends, paying dividends to the stockholders. It can be reinvested into the company in the form of expansion, opening up new plants, getting new equipment, investing in research and development. And the idea is that investing in expansion or other types of expenditures is going to increase the value of the company over time, help them keep their competitive edge, help them keep their supply chain and their big, customers and things like that. So they, sell for $2 and it costs $1. So they make $1 of profit. I'm just throwing that out there. So of all of the different activities they do, all the services and all of the products that they sell, they try to have some type of, they try to have a surplus of equity that they can distribute or reinvest into the company. When they reinvest the money back into the company, in an ideal world, that's going to increase the overall value of the company. So if at one point the company was selling at, let's say, $60 per share, then now with increased maybe competitive edge or a new patent or something that improves the company, now it's selling at $62 or $65 a share. So your portfolio will look larger because the stock value has increased, or your portfolio could look larger because you received a cash distribution from the company. And they can explain to you, I make plastic and it cost me 50 cents to make this plastic, and I sold this plastic in bulk for $1 each. And they can explain that to you. Clearly, any company that's trying to make a profit should be able to explain to you how they're making the profit. I cut yards. It cost me a certain amount of money for gas. I already own my lawnmower, and it cost me a certain amount each year or each quarter to maintain it. And then transporting to my area, I pay for flyers to advertise my lawn care business, and I go on Facebook for free and I post an ad, and then I charge $50 for a certain amount of yard per square feet, and then if it's more than that, then I charge $75. They can explain to you how they're making money very clearly, and you can understand, oh, that's how they make money. With a lot of these scams, they're like, just give me your money and I'm going to double it. How are you going to double it? They can never tell you how. No, seriously, how? Oh, because I use Bitcoin. But what are you doing with the Bitcoin? Is it a service? Are people paying you for the Bitcoin? Are you speculating on the Bitcoin? So you're paying a certain amount of money and then you're wanting to see what happens, because speculation is just like gambling. So you can just go to the casino yourself. You don't need to give anybody any money to gamble on your behalf. You understand? So how are you going to make the money? How? They should be able to clearly explain that to you. This is how we're going to make money. And if there's anything that you don't understand, just don't do it. Don't do it until you can get understanding about exactly what it is. And don't let people use, they always use these terminologies and things you don't understand, and they throw in a little bit of truth, and they throw in some motivational speaking and some prosperity gospel, make you feel good, invite you into a community where you feel like there's like-minded people and everybody's trying to da-da-da-da, and you got this one friend who showed you their Phantom account that looks like it's going up, and that's how people get sucked into the scams. So, thank you so much for joining the live stream. I will be coming to talk more about these types of issues, because I definitely see them on the rise, and it worries me. I don't want people to be separated from their money. I love investments. I love the idea of saving for the future, investing for the future, getting involved with investing, but there's just so many grifters and bad actors that are diverting people's money away from legitimate investments and into scams. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and like and share and turn on that notification bell so that you can be notified when I go live and when I post new content. Peace.